Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Lost Legion. I am your host, JR. And today we got Jose and Daniel. How's it going, guys?
Hey,
Yo,
How's your guys' Monday going?
it's Monday.
yeah, it's
Sucks.
going.
All right, well, news today. Unfortunately, no Shatterpoint news, no article, nothing dropped, which kind of expected because it sounds like we got Adepticon Thursday for the whole weekend. So I'm assuming next week we're going to have a lot more news for you guys. Hopefully, gameplay. Like, I hope they post a gameplay video.
Well, they're gonna have the demos at Adepticon, so I assume that at least somebody, like probably Krabik or somebody, will post something.
Yeah, while they're there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm super stoked, super excited, and super sad at the same time. So I'm really excited to see what comes out of there. The next we got Ashoka Fulcrum announced for the Rebels. What do you guys think?
I think this definitely should have been Ahsoka for Gar,
Yeah,
especially with the 4 command cards. Like, who is she partnering with? Because Asajj's 4th command card was to partner her with Dooku, which makes sense. Who is Fulcrum Ahsoka's
Nick's
bond
theory.
with?
Nick's theory was Mando.
With Mando?
No.
Yeah,
She's in like one episode. She like hangs out with him for a day and she gets a whole command card based on that. Are you kidding me?
Well, okay. I thought the same thing too. I was just like, whoa. So I looked at Asajj's article and it says not her command card, it says the 4 command cards. But when I looked at Ahsoka, it said her command cards. So I'm assuming maybe it's not a team up one.
Maybe.
And then
It's probably a divulge. How much I bet to divulge?
Yeah,
You know-
but Asajj had a divulge and a team up card because yeah, I don't know. This should have been for Gar. I don't know why
Luke
you would do the Rebel one
Skywalker.
first.
Wait.
It's
what
a Luke
about-
Skywalker card.
That would be
Yeah.
hilarious. I would actually really like that.
It's a Luke Skywalker card.
I was-
Instead
I was-
have them training Grogu.
I was telling Luke, or not Luke, I was telling Nick, watch it be a Commander Luke's card. So that way you have to play Commander Luke to get it.
Specifies.
Yeah. Also, my theory is that her divulge card is gonna give her Dejinso, like kind of like Assad gets Ventress. You could choose Dejinso on top of your card.
I could see that.
Yeah, which I think she's gonna be more useful. In my opinion, I think Ahsoka is gonna be better than Ventress. And what I mean by that is not as squishy as Ventress is. And I think she's gonna
Not
have
squishy.
she's squishy, bro. She's squishy. But I also think she's gonna have Agile 1 because in their article they hinted like her speed, and I was like, Agile 1 on top of Jakar, on top of Jujinso would be amazing.
Didn't your Venture shred apart Dark Troopers?
Yeah.
Room is Dark Trooper? Yeah, see,
Yeah.
not squishy.
But
Not
that
squishy.
that was because
Not squishy.
wraps,
Not
and then
squishy.
when the Dark Troopers approach, force push those guys off and then strike them.
No, not squishy at all.
She's totally squishy, squishiest guy. So yeah, we're gonna hopefully get some more news. Hopefully we get a little bit more info at Adepticon. I'm hoping for a lot of great things at Adepticon, but yeah, she looks like she's gonna be pretty awesome.
The sculpt looks cool.
Yeah.
It looks difficult to paint. That's a lot of crap in a small area.
Do they ever explain why she's the only one that gets white sabers?
She
Yeah.
has Inquisitor sabers that she like purified or something, right?
Yep.
That's what my brother told me. Like I've never heard it, but he's like, oh, she has white sabers because yeah.
Yeah, no, she purified them. They're
So
Sith
let me
sabers.
let me get this straight. They finally make a black saber, which I was stoked for, and it looks crappy. I hate the way the dark saber looks. I just hate it.
Really?
It's made
Yeah,
by Mandos. That's
It
why it
looks
looks
super
different.
cool.
Mandos are trash. All Mandos are trash, man. I can't get behind that. I don't know. I guess I'm just used to the old style of how lightsabers should look. But the dark saber
Because the guy who likes the guy with the bow staff for a lightsaber.
well,
That's true.
I'm not gonna lie. The dark saber has grown on to me. Like I do like the dark saber. I just never imagined the first black lightsaber would look like that. And then Ahsoka gets the 2 white sabers, and I'm just like, I feel like that could have been cool. It like the introduction of it was kind of like lackluster to me.
Yeah, I don't think they never address it in like any visual media, do they? Like it's just in a book somewhere.
No, it's actually in Rebels. And Rebels,
Is it in Rebels?
Yeah.
Well, she has them in Rebels, but they don't talk about how she got them in Rebels, do they?
Yeah, they never talk.
Because like I didn't even know that, and
Mhm.
I usually do an okay job of keeping up with the visual media.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah,
that's
it's external.
when I watched Rebels and like when I watched all the shows to catch up on my lore, and I saw she had it, I was just like, Did I miss episode? Why does she got white sabers? But yeah, they never really talk about it. All right, guys, that's pretty much it for the news for Star Wars Legion stuff. Let's go ahead and move on to the Bounty Hunter event. I was able to get my game in. Daniel, you said you're playing your brother on Wednesday.
Yep. Yeah, we
And-
got paired up against each other, which is a bummer. We were hoping to get both make it into top 4, but that's probably going to eliminate one of us.
Yeah, I was
So-
just talking to John about that. I was just like, before the results were shown or who was paired, I was just like, okay, John, this is how it's going to work. Either I'm playing Daniel, or I'm playing his brother, or I'm playing a 1-on-1, and then they're playing each other. The base case scenario is that they play each other and knock each other out of the.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. So, but that leaves 1-on-1s enables potentially 2 1-on-1s to make it into the top 4. Because I told John that if he was able to beat Michael and get both bounties, then he makes it to the top, or he has the potential to make top 4. Because I think he then kicks Michael out. Could be wrong though.
I don't know. I think Michael has a
collected those
lot of
2
points.
Yeah, he's
Well,
collected
he's got
every
10.
game.
Yeah, he's got 10. And I think Daniel, you have 8.
Yeah.
I have 13, and then everyone else is below that. I mean, I think
My
there's
brother
a-
has
so
10.
overpowered.
Oh, your brother has 10.
He collected a bounty in the last game, so he's at my wins, but with a bounty.
Oh man, you're
Yeah.
right.
He's doing
Oh,
really well.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
using Death Troopers, and he's like, Death Troopers are the bomb.
Oh,
So there's that.
The
I'm not
troopers are
gonna-
good.
they are really good. And when I talk about my game, I'm gonna tell you how good they are. But yeah, it's interesting because
Did you lose?
I'll get to that.
Then they're not that good.
Hey, as long as they killed his guy, so it didn't collect a bounty, that's all that matters to me.
Oh man, okay, so yeah, your brother has 10. So it's gonna really come down to who wins their game, because if they don't play in the store, that's 0, and if they do, that's only 1. Whereas in somebody that's at 8 and wins the game would be at 11. So they would kick the number 10 spot out essentially if they didn't get the 1 point from losing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, me and Johnny are going to play in the store. That's our
Okay.
plan anyways. Play in the store on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So the loser of us will either be me with 9 or him with 11. So
Yeah.
if I lose, I'm in big trouble.
Yeah.
If he loses, he I guess still has a chance, especially if he picks up another bounty. Then he might weasel in.
Yeah, that's what's interesting is this last round to get in the top 4, you got to score your bounties. If you score your bounties, I think you have a better chance of getting in the top 4.
Or whoever between me and Johnny wins.
Yeah.
One of us will for sure make it.
I just love the brothers going against each other.
It's so climactic in the final round.
It is. It pretty much is. So my game. Let's go over my game. I went against Edward, and he is running. Just to recap on his list: Krennic with IG-88, Shore Troopers with the T-21B, and then 1 with Gideon Hess, Mortar, and then 2 Imperial Death Troopers. I'm running Obi-Wan with a bunch of Phase 1s, Clone Commander, and the Bark Speeders. So pretty much how this game went, and man, I gotta say, Edward is stepping up his game. He is writing notes, he is jotting everything down, and he's listening to this podcast. So hey, Edward, because he's taking tips from all of our games. So anyways, we end up getting in the battle deck, for me, I was blue player, breakthrough, fortify positions, and rollout. And this is one of those scenarios where the last 2 was bombing run and breakthrough. And I immediately banned to bombing run, and he obviously banned to breakthrough.
Right.
So we played where a lot of the white picket fences were all light cover. The buildings were pretty much heavy cover. And then, so there really wasn't a lot of like barricades. I decided to not have barricades and just make everything light cover to see how that would go with the map building now that the rules have changed.
I actually really like that. Just if I can jump in, I've been doing that too, where we have like almost really defined, where everything has fairly sharp corners, and then there's lots of like, not lots, but a couple things of light cover, and everything huge is that's your heavy cover.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's made for a lot more open shots and a lot more light cover shots, which has been interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I like that philosophy.
Same. I figured, okay, too much heavy cover just ruins the game and makes good armies better. Unfortunately, that didn't really matter in this game because we got 45 positions, so we just barricades out.
Oh man.
So all that lock cover just doesn't exist because you're going to the heavy. So Edward picked his table side, and pretty much he set up in his corner of rollout. I did not advance my bark speeders up for the rollout advanced position. I kept everything in that square that's forward position. And then I put all the barricades in that area. And then he just puts a Congo line of barricades. So when I saw that, I knew exactly what Edward's doing. Edward's playing the gun line, and he's just going to sit and wait. Because one thing about Edward's list that I love, he's got a lot of range for.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And
A lot of brutal range for.
Mhm. And I have no range for. And so this is how this game pretty much played out. Turn one, I play air support, and he plays independent programming for IG-88. He's already sitting. He's not at range 4 of my guys, but just a little like movement will get him into range 4 of my guys. So I know this. I need to set up some fire supports plays. So I'm just like, well, I'm just gonna advance. My bark speeders are at the bottom of the right-hand corner of my side, and they're behind a line of sight blocking. It's breakthrough. They're very valuable, so I want to keep them alive. So what I do is I go with my air support. I shoot guys. Oh man, and he took aggressive tactics. So now like all his important pieces have surges, and I think I get 1 wound on a mortar, and then he like blocks the rest of it. I think I killed another guy actually, or sure. Then the rest of my guys move up, and as they move up, they're taking dodges because I don't want to get him range 3 until I get range 3. So I have to take these range 4 shots. So he starts shooting his range 4, fire supporting, dead troopers. He gets a couple guys off. And then I realize why nobody plays Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan needs protector. I think they need to errata him to have protector on this card because there's too much critical in this game. And that's essentially what got through with a bunch of crits. Anytime Obi-Wan like Guardian, it was just like 1 and he just spent a dodge to Guardian. And yeah, it was brutal.
Just pay for the upgrade, you cheapo.
No, because he only has 1 trophy slot, and then it taps.
Well. Hey, you gotta.
He wouldn't be that bad to have protector. I don't think it's gonna be overkill for him just to have protector on his card.
Yeah, no, protector makes a big difference. The difference of blocking a crit and a hit. If they roll through 2 hits and a crit, Obi can Guardian 2, but now with protected Guardian 3. Pay for it. You pay for it.
I'd maybe give it to him on like his knowledge and defense turn or something. I think it'd be fun.
I think you're over like hyping it in a sense because like that's his whole kit. His whole kit is to Guardian, and he still could take wounds from those Guardians. So it's not like he's just nuffling those attacks. And so if his kit would get
that's why you have dodges on him and you block them. Then you don't. Then you got to worry about something.
How are you going to get dodges if you don't have defensive stance, right? You're going to have one dodge?
Your cards, maybe you can take reflexes. Yeah, you can. It's my thing with Force users is there's give and take that you have to do with this. Like Anakin's the best example. When I'm running a capo, my second training slot is whatever the hell I want it to be. But when I'm running Anakin with just clones, it's endurance. I have to take endurance. It's that give and take. Obi-Wan has dodges from his cards, from reflexes, from up close and personal sabers, or however you want to do it. There's dodges. He can get dodges. But with him having dodges, like that's when he Guardians, if he has 2 dodges, you can block 2 hits with 2 dodges. The crit is the way that it's like, okay, cool. You can block these, but you're going to risk this crit. You don't want to risk that crit? Well, guess what? Pay to be able to negate that crit. Like, there's a give and take. You can't give a Guardian unit just because he's Obi-Wan or just because he's a Force user protector. If that's the case, give Chewie protector, give the IGs protector, give the Magna Guards protector. It makes no sense for this one.
It makes sense to me that a very elite protector like Obi-Wan would have some kind of leg up over a Magna Guard throwing its body in the way.
He does. Right? He gets to spend dodges in Guardian. That's his elite.
Yeah, and that's good. And I don't see that it'd be the end of the world if they gave him a little bump once in 6 rounds where he can Guardian some of those crits. But
so would his point cost go up if you gave him protector?
No, because
it's not like he's dominating the meta.
Yeah, here's
he's not on the verge of being.
You got to pay for something though.
Here's the thing: is that giving Obi-Wan Protector on his card, in my opinion, kind of handles that power creep, because the power creep right now is just criticals and critical impact, surge to crit. Like there's too much of it, in my opinion, in this game. And it's just like, that's all anybody really wants to take.
What are they paying for critical on those keyword on those guns that take critical? What are they paying for them?
Do you think that the Empire benefit from the point reductions they received last year for all their critical guns?
Do I think they benefited?
Yeah.
Yeah, we went over this.
Right. So
but once again, there's a difference.
Obi-Wan is a character, like many characters in Legion, that just need a slight increase of power creep. And I think Protector would solve Obi-Wan. Like, I'm not asking Obi-Wan to be a crazy.
I think Obi-Wan would also still have problems because along with guarding that additional stuff, he'll die. So
yeah.
So you have that. You already have
but
that.
He's more vulnerable.
Obi-Wan do I Guardian or do I want to live? So I don't feel like it's fair to give him another give and take.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one, Daniel.
But I don't know. I don't play a lot
my
of
thing
Obi-Wan.
is the critical the critical that's the issue. Everybody's paying a premium for. You're paying 35 points on a short trooper for critical. That's premium. 34 points and an immobile emplacement trooper is points. You look at the saber tank, the ATS or the AAT. You're paying premium for those criticals. You add those weapons. You're paying premiums.
Define premium. You keep saying
35 plus points for
points for B1s.
Critical one.
For 17 points. That's all it costs on a B1 body.
Yeah, but when
I get a red die.
30 plus points for critical is no way near.
I'm talking about your reference of original cost. How much the original cost or something has to be, and then it immediately goes to premium. Like, oh, I'm paying premium for that keyword. Like a good analogy would be the ARC Troopers. They lost critical one, right? Because it was that good on a strike team. So
yeah,
it was not that good. What made it good was the fire supports. The minute they got rid of Rex, all the extra aims, all the scout
fire
aims,
support, because
I think it was pretty good on them.
Because here's the thing: when you fire support,
you could do that with mortars.
Hold on. When you fire support a 2-die shot on ARC Troopers, it doesn't matter because you had back in the day when it was an issue, you had 3 aims. You're gonna get a crit. There was no stopping it. There was no stopping it. Now that doesn't exist anymore. The ARC Troopers should have critical back.
I think I disagree with you. I don't think that people were fire supporting with strike teams. I think
it was just devastating against other strike teams. Being able to get a crit through and just brutalize everybody else.
Yeah, and then you move and you got an aim off the move. Like it's one of those things where you got to take some keywords away. I'm not saying take anything away from the Empire. I think Empire's in a good spot right now. I'm just saying some of the stuff that's kind of like slowed down.
That's fallen off.
Yeah.
Obi's already.
Obi needs something. Grievous needs something. Some of these characters, even if it's like, oh yeah, that's more powerful than they should be. Well, they need to rise to what the meta is now.
Yeah. I mean, look at
Obi was playing when critical was first introduced with the.
He's not playing anymore.
He didn't have a problem then.
Vader got compelled. Vader got a bunch of dodges on his command cards. Like that. No one saw Vader, and then he got these keywords.
And didn't his cost go up?
Yeah, it went back. No, it went back to where it was because he got these
and didn't Obi go? Obi went down 5 or 10 points.
But that's not enough.
So then, if he's gonna get protect on his card, then he needs to go back up 5 or 10 points.
Sure, whatever the case is. I'm just saying my point.
But then, if he goes up 10 points, then you might as well just take the upgrade.
No, because that slot is so important.
Yeah, it is important.
If they gave him an extra slot and bumped him the points, then it's fine.
Yeah.
Nah.
So, well, we'll have
Obi's good where he's at.
We'll have to agree to disagree. But in my opinion, in this game, Obi-Wan didn't do a whole lot of Guardian because everything was getting blocked by heavy cover. And then if I spent dodges to Guardian, it was just like 1. So I was rolling for the crits. My red saves were pretty, I would say 50-50, like they should be. So I was losing a couple guys. One thing I did note is he was focusing 5s because he didn't want me to coordinate troopers. So like 5s is getting hit a lot.
Did you go for his Gideon for the same thing?
Well, here's the thing is Gideon's at range 4, so I got to get there first, right? So pretty much this whole round is me slowly moving up and taking dodges to share.
What are your medics doing? Hailing fives.
Well, no, they did eventually. I'll get to that. I'll get to that. So the bike speeders, they don't want to be close to his army, so they just do donuts. They just stay right where they are behind the line of sight blocking. So round two, or so what's funny is at the end of two, he moves up with a mortar. Speed went up in front of everybody. And I was just like, that's a dead mortar. There's my target right there. So sure enough, we play command cards. I play General Kenobi.
Was he setting up a play, or what was the?
I'll get to that. I'll get to
Okay.
that. So this is where I'm telling you, he's doing his homework. He's listening to us. So I play General Kenobi, and I opt to give 2 of my orders to the bark speeders because I don't want them to go when I don't want them to go. And then, of course, General Kenobi gets his. He shocks me and plays standing orders. This man does not want to give me an advantage of going after him. So he just like, oh man, the plays were amazing. I was just like, oh my God, Edward, this is awesome. So pretty much he goes with that mortar and he aims standbys. So now it's my turn. I pull a bag, I get a phase 1, and I move up to that mortar, range 3, because I've been moving inches to get in range 3 of everything, but that's the closest. So I get to range, I move up to get in range 3, and you know what this man does? He moves back. He moves back.
Yes.
What
On that
power
big
move.
base.
Oh,
On
yeah.
that big base.
He baited me so hard. So hard. I was impressed by this bait. He moves back to the position, and now I got a forwarding phase 1. And at this point, I'm just like, F it. I double moved my phase 1 because I was just like, I got Obi-Wan is behind a line of sight, blocking behind the building, but he can't get shot at, but he can't guard it. He can still see his troopers. So at this point, I was like, damn, Edward's not going to give me anything. So I was just like, all right, I'm double moving this guy. I'm a double move. I'm moving and dodging to be range of his thing for next turn. He's shooting. He does get something. More guys die. My 5 guys are dwindling down, and they got a lot of suppression. So I don't see them doing a whole lot. So at this point, I realize he's not trying to kill Obi-Wan. He's not trying to, because he bountied Obi-Wan. He's not trying to do any of that. So I realized the medics are just useless. So I have the medics start healing 5s up. So that was pretty much turn 2. Turn 3, he does move his death troopers up a little bit closer of range 3, and his death troopers have Overwatch. So he plays deploy the garrison, and I play attack of the clones. I give pretty much everybody surges. My last turn, my barks, just knowing that he didn't give me anything, no fire support, they do another donut. And this round, I am in range 3 of things. And so like now I can fire support. But I don't want to walk in those standbys. He's only got 1 standby on Death Trooper, and then he put it on the short, but they only range 2, so I can shoot that off. Sure enough, he goes with this Death Trooper, I think. I don't think he went first, but from what I'm remembering from this turn, he moves, and when he moves, I let him know, like, if you move, you're gonna lose that standby. But he didn't know that, but he was just like, I'll do it anyways. So he moves into a more advantage position, and takes another standby. So now he's got 2 aims, 1 aim off the standby, and then another aim. And so I'm just like, okay, he's out of range 3 of everything else, my guys. So then my boys start shooting at things that are in range 3. No fire support because I'm trying to set up my barks for the next turn to get that. So I shoot at something. Now this is gonna be a common theme here with what he did the mortar. I shoot at something with just regular squad. Now he's pressed a lot of my guys, so they don't even get to take name. And then I don't kill anything. I probably get 1 or 2 guys. Then he goes with that guy, his shores, and they have an order, so they get an aim. They shoot back, kill a little bit more of my guys, and then he moves back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he's playing that range 4 game. If I move into 3, he shoots me 3 and then moves back.
It's gonna make you pay for every inch in blood.
Yeah,
I love it.
It is amazing. I love it so much. So yeah, like I said, basically what's getting through is critical. I do like lose on some of my defense rolls. A lot of guys are dying. 5 is getting really low. He positioned the jet trooper with the standby where the barks were, and I didn't want the barks to get shoot at, so they do another donut. We go into turn 4.
Could have shot those standbys off at range 5 if you had arcs, better investment.
And I was not thinking that. I realized after I made the list, like I got nothing beyond range 3. I'm gonna get screwed if I face something.
That's why I didn't take them to LVO. You're like, take bark speeders. Now I got arc troopers. I'm good.
they're still good. They're still good. So turn was it on 4? Let me see. Count 1, 2. Nope, I went over 3. All right, turn 4. I played knowledge and defense. I get a bunch of dodges, and he plays coordinated fire. He's doing more shooting, more things, more situation. The death troopers did kind of move closer down to some statues, moved a little forward. So I'm kind of now focusing those guys I am in range. And this is the turn. What did I say? Yep, turn 4. This is the turn where I now know, and I knew this from the beginning and from my experience. He's moving backwards.
Yeah, you're inching forward.
And I'm inching forward. It's breakthrough. At some point, you have to move forward unless you plan for me not to get anything in your deployment zone. The only problem is that he's not shooting at my bark speeders.
Right.
They're the key to winning this game. So he's doing a lot more shooting. He manages to fully kill 5's group. That's gone. Yeah, that's out. Then I decide, okay, I have to get aggressive at the end of this turn for my bark speed. Because like I said, they're doing donuts, but as they're doing donuts, they're not in the most advantaged position just to zoom. So this is the turn they need to be in the most advantaged position. So I have one bark speeder that I decided is going to be the sacrificial lamb. And so at the end of the round, towards the end of the round, I moved the bark speeder up. He fire supports into IG-88, who moved in range 3 of a squad. I get 9 hits through after heavy cover and after armor. This man saves everything but 4. So IG-88 only has 1 health. He hasn't win with IG-88. He shoots back at the bark speeder. I was making good saves on this bark speeder. I think he got like 1 through or 2 through, and then he moves back. He moves back. So the bark speeder is now in range 3 of everything, but the other 2 bark speeders are now in a more advantaged spot to just zoom towards his deployment zone. Turn 5, he plays his 1 pip, which is with Grinnick. I forgot the name of it. And
Voracious Ambition.
Voracious Ambition.
Yeah, and then I play Synchronized Offensive. And my goal was to hopefully go with the bark speeder first, get a fire support before it dies. But he has cunning, so he goes first. He went with the death troopers that I've been shooting at, and he managed to kill it. Like his dice were on point this whole game, and his defense rolls. So that goes to bark speeder. So now I'm down 2x, and he doesn't have anything else in range 3 of those bark speeders because they're at the very bottom of the map. It's rollout, and I just need to zoom towards his. So he can't really shoot at them. He doesn't move to go shoot at them. He doesn't even make it
He could stand by, right?
He could stand by. Like if he moved, he could get into range 3, right? But I think he's scared of giving me any my guys shooting back. So he just kind of still focusing my guys and shooting them and making sure they're suppressed, making sure they can't take aims, taking guys off here and there. Like he's winning.
Which is helping him a lot.
Yeah, he's winning the kill point.
Clones with no aims is sad.
Yeah, he's crushing me. Like if I get no point through, this man was amazing on kill points. Like it's not. If you look, yeah. So I was able to go with the barks last, and I was able to go with the last because I had to pull for back. So I got 1 to go last, but 1 had to go midway through. And there's another building that's not huge line of sight blocking because all my terrain kind of are see through, but we decided to play it all line of sight blocking. So they go. And at this point, when he sees 1 goes towards the middle of the round, he realized, they're going to get into my deployment zone. So he now transitions to fire at the bark speeder, which is not quite behind the line of sight barking, but it's definitely, you can see it, but it's going to get heavy cover. He starts shooting at that. He puts 2 or 3 rooms for. I go last with bark speeder, and he zooms, and he's safe. So then the last round, I play hello there, and he plays. He actually plays. What does he play? It's not Annihilation Loom. It
Oh, why
was
not?
he chose not to. And I think he played a 2-pip. I can't
The
remember.
Annihilation Loons is turn 6 or 5 you're talking about right now.
This is turn 6 now.
Then he
So
should have did Annihilation Loons. He would have
turn
planted all your
turn
phase
5.
ones.
Well, it doesn't matter for Bark Speeder, right? Bark Speeders.
No, but what I'm saying, if he plants your phase ones,
They were
then they gotta roll that suppression off. His guys can then intercept the Bark Speeders and try to take them out.
well. I'm honest. So when I say like Edwards laying down the suppression game, like only one's coming off each round, and I only need to have one to be suppressed because they're all phase ones. So I think at this point he wasn't even worried about suppressing me because he's already done that. He's done that successfully.
Yeah, but he
So
could
good.
he could panic the field and then only have to worry about your Bark Speeders.
But then
I
he
mean,
might take away some of his own actions. You
Yeah,
have a little bit of risk of that.
because he
If not everyone's in
If the
the
Bark
compelled
Speeders,
range.
if the Bark Speeders are gonna score regardless, and your only
not-
option is to kill these things, then
But-
you
but that's-
should
that's
freeze
the
the rest
thing.
of your army.
his whole army is cursed too because he has the officer in the short troopers. So I don't think, like you said, Daniel, I don't think he wanted to potentially suppress his guys at this point. Because so I pull from the bag.
Bubble screen.
I get a phase 1 and everything. He shoots at the red, the one that advanced that he was shooting at last turn, and I was able to save everything. And then I get a Bark Speeder on my second draw, and I decide to move my healthy one all the way behind. If you look at the map on the pictures on the Discord, there's a huge height 2 terrain that's full line of sight blocking. So I was able to get the fully one behind it, and the only ones that could really shoot at it, it was the death troopers that I had been shooting at. That's now like got like 2 or 3 guys left in it. He shoots again at the Bark Speeder. I save grade again. I get the Bark Speeder. It goes, but it's not in the most like black on the line of sight. You can still see it. He turns a death trooper around, shoot at that wounded one, takes it out. But here's the thing: is I'm already out. Like he's dwindling me down. I'm all out. He's got a lot of axe still to go, but he can't move him into position to shoot at my Bark Speeder. And ultimately, that's what cost him the game. It was 1-0. And I told Edward at the end of it, I was just like, man, I love what you were doing. I loved everything, but I think you might have lost sight of the objective because the Bark Speeder were the more prioritized objective than my troopers were. Because that somewhere through mid of the game, my goal was just to sacrifice the troopers because as long as I keep the Barks, that's all I really need.
So like turn 5, if he had pivoted really hard,
yeah,
and then maybe just count on Annihilation Looms to hold out the last round.
And that's what I told him. I go, I think by round 4 or 3, I think you should have started moving your troopers down to where my Bark Speeders were and pick them off because you had the firepower. But I think he was just a little bit too scared of my fire supporting. And phase 1 or just
I traumatized that poor man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he was talking about that too. He was talking about that.
You learn a day.
Yeah, so because like turn 5, like he had moved a short trooper a little bit close up, but then he realized like, oh, I can't double move to get into scoring round, and so unfortunately he did lose that game. I honestly feel like he should have won that game because he just did everything amazing. Like everything I was throwing at him, he was just stopping me. That bait, I love that bait. It's just unfortunately he lost track of the Bark Speeders and they were able to win. If you look at the kill points, he's got 0. I didn't kill a single. I killed things, but I didn't kill a single unit.
Yeah, you lost. I looked at it. You lost a quarter of your points.
Yeah, and he didn't lose anything. So I'm sure he's gonna take this, internalize it, and just come back at me stronger and better.
The play where he baited you with the mortar, did he have a flat ground where he could have just moved up and based that trooper and was safe in melee? Yeah.
His troopers will be range 3 away. That'd be pretty far.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So when he moved up, he was.
Oh yeah, you went to. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, he wasn't even in range 3 of anything because like I'm trying not to get shot by his range 3.
Yeah.
I want to hit his first. So I'm just inching up, taking dodges and everything, and then that was when that bait happened.
I love that bait. That bait always gets me too, because I look at standbys and I forget you can do a move. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna plan around this, and then I dive in, and they walk away. That happens to me on limited visibility turns a lot.
Oh yeah. It's so bad. It's just
it's a great move.
Yeah.
I just forget about it.
This is how I know Edward's getting better and everything because like old Edward, I was anticipating to get shot at. I was like, yeah, you can shoot at a trooper unit, then everybody else is gonna shoot you. And then he just, no, I'm gonna move back. So kudos to
Such a
you,
good move.
Edward. Amazing game, man. I really wanted you to win it. But yeah, so that was my game. I'm pretty sure I still got my spot in the top 4. So we'll see what everybody else is gonna be doing. You guys get to play any games?
No, I haven't played this week. Yeah, my next game's gonna be in the next couple days. So
I gotta hit up Chris the schedule.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to our strategy discussion. Today we're gonna be talking about pathfinders. So our Jose, man. Let's talk about pathfinders, the unit card in general.
Yes.
What do you guys think they're good at? Weakness, all that good stuff.
you want to
They
take us through
are-
the stat line, Jose?
Yeah. So they I played them when they were expensive and everybody said they sucked, but I was like new at Rebels, so I didn't really, to me everything sucked because white saves. But I appreciate them a lot more now that I know how to play them. Even though people still think they suck. Um so Rebel Pathfinders, they were reduced down to 56 points for the naked squad.
From 68.
They come no, cost reduced October 21, cost reduced
I'm talking about
58 to 56.
Just originally.
yeah,
This
originally.
Yeah, the original cost was 68, so they went down a lot. That's how bad people felt about them. So they come with Danger Sense 3, which for every suppression you have up to 3, you get 3 additional dice, white
defense
dice
rolls.
to throw for defense rolls. They have Dauntless, so when you are suppressed, you can take an additional suppression to move for free. Yeah, so it's nice. You're never really in a pinch where you're stuck with one action. If you want to gamble, you got Dauntless.
Oh, I'm
Take it
saying
and
it's
go.
I'm saying it's useless now because of the new panic rules. I feel like it just automatically enables you to panic.
I think that
It
it's
still doesn't
not
cost you an
useless.
action though.
It's well, not even that. They're courage too. So I mean, where like if you compel a courage 1 unit, you're definitely screwed. Like you
But that's
compel if you compel like a Black Sun, that's going to be way more detrimental than if you than if you Dauntless a Courage 2 unit.
well, that's the thing is they have to be right suppressed in order to dauntless or yeah, dauntless. So that's already 3 suppression.
2 or 3, yeah.
Yeah.
And then my favorite keyword, which has won me a lot of games and has got me blown up in a lot of games, is infiltrate.
Mhm.
I remember my first. I was so pumped when Cassian came out because before when I first got into Rebels, I was playing Sabine, Jin, Pathfinders. Just because I love Rogue One and I did a cool looking hot rod looking like Mattel fire blue Sabine, so I was like, I want to use it and it's good. But I was so new. I was like at eight activation Rebels when I first started playing. Because everything was so expensive. But my first game against JR when we got Cassian, I was so pumped. Hell yeah, Rogue One, let's go. I thought Ion was my saving grace, and I infiltrate Biston in the middle of the map by himself, behind a barricade, staring at a AAT.
Yeah.
Because I put it in there and I'm like, cool, handle it. And then Jared's like, AAT. I'm like, oh crap.
Not just one,
So
2. No,
two.
2.
It was two. It was two.
Yeah.
But one was on a building and one was on like a rock. And Bison's just like, huh. So I win the roll off. I get Bison. I shoot and no Ion. He just barrages and just deletes Biston. And I'm like, okay, cool. So they're not that good. But anyways, what makes them cool is they have their heavy slots, which is Pal and Biston. They have 1 training slot. They have 1 comm slot. They have 1 the little disc. So I should know this.
Gear?
The little disc. Yeah, gear. They have their weapon slot, which is cool because they get their little weapon config. And
It's
then
free
they have
now,
a
right?
grenade.
Yeah, it's free.
Yeah, it's free. Then they have their grenade slot. Their health 1, courage 2. They're also special forces unit. They surge up and down. They surge to hit. They surge to block. Their regular unarmed melee is 1 black die, and their A300 blaster rifle range 1 to 3 is 2 white die per mini, and that is actually clutch sometimes.
What do you how do you guys play them? Oh well, let's talk about the config that they get for free. Because like, why wouldn't you put it on? It's range 1 to 4, and they shoot a white dice. And then at range 1 to 2, they shoot a red die.
Yeah, this is kind of an underwhelming config. I
Yeah,
wish it gave keywords or something.
Mhm.
It's a little disappointing to me.
I like it depends on the infiltrate. If I can infiltrate and know I'm gonna get a pretty solid range too, then I automatically deploy them with their short range because 4 red die and is amazing, especially if you take POW, you're getting 5 red die and a white die. And if you take Biston, you're getting five red die, 1 black die, and 4 white die.
Yeah,
So it's a pretty solid pool. And then even at range, if you play the range 4 game, uh 4 white dice added on to Bison's 5 dice, and then 4 white dice added on to the red and white. Because they surge up, it doesn't make it's not a completely terrible weapon. Because since they surge up, you're kind of in a better position than if you're just shooting with no surge. So I've had it come clutch. I've played the range 4 game with Pal Biston and just the regular config, and it's actually coming really clutch, especially with the surge to hit.
So I've never played Pathfinders, but I have played against them, and I find them very, very annoying. Like, you don't think that danger sense matters until they're rolling that 3 extra on 1 hit, and then they get blocked by heavy cover. And like, I definitely taken advantage of some people that have infiltrated in the wrong spot, but when you infiltrate in the right spot, it makes a big difference.
Hmm.
It definitely, I feel like you need to take duck and cover because you need to build that to that danger sense.
yeah.
And then yeah, like Nick plays them really well. Like they're more of annoying and a nuisance. Like it's just like I'm spending too many acts trying to kill this guy right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're really good against finishing guys, like what you were talking about, where, oh, I got one through. I know I've played like Cad against them a lot, and it's so frustrating
Mhm.
because Cad's thing, like, he rolls 4 black, he doesn't get a lot through, but he's got Pierce. And so you're like, oh, yeah, I'm moving around, I get you out of cover, I roll, I got one. And so then my Pierce is going to kill you. And they're like, yeah, I'm going to roll my 4.
Yeah.
Roll 4?
It's poor man's impervious.
It is poor man's
Yeah,
impervious.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
honestly, I think it's better than impervious because since they surge down, they rolling 4 off of 1 hit, like the potential if you just to block it is, I think, higher than impervious.
It's close.
It's close. So when I build Pathfinders, I run them in threes. I never run them in twos. I always run them in three, and I have specific build setups for all three. So what I like to do is with the regular naked Pathfinder, no BIS and no PAL, I go duck and cover, emergency transponders, prepared supplies for some extra you can't kill me, and their config. So basically, they're the utility unit that I'm going to use if I'm playing like recover the supplies. I'm going to put a supply right behind a line of sight blocker where I can grab it, or if I notice my opponent misplays his box, I'm going to hop right by it and go to the range 2 gun and try to they're going to die obviously, but they're going to take some people with them. Then when I go with the POW build, it's going to be POW, duck and cover, emergency transponder, prepared supplies, and the 300 config. And that's just Pal's really there just to help mitigate with his inspire to kind of keep everything around him, whatever needs a suppression off. So say if I dauntless with something, Pal can rip it off on his turn. And the bonus to Pal and Bison is it's an extra 2 hit points. So now this unit is 6 wounds with all these keywords, and it adds to their survivability. Then my third one, which is the most different one, just because I like the feels like a Gatling gun. When you see Biston in the carrier where he's firing off that big old Gatling gun, like that's what I picture with this one. Because what I like about this build is it's Biston, duck and cover, emergency transponder, targeting scopes with the A300 config. I like to try to get into the range 3 with Biston. I would love the 4, but when you get into the range 3, that's 8 dice from the core Pathfinders, and that's 5 dice from Biston with 1 black die, and if you got the transponder, you got the free aim with the targeting scopes, and you're just slot machining it out. And surging up, you're gonna get a lot of hits more than you miss when you have that little setup.
Yeah, 13 dice on a rage 3 attack. It seems pretty good. Even though those are white dice, you surge up and
Yep.
you got the potential to get some good crits. Yeah, they're annoying. I don't what do you guys grade them?
I give them like a B minus. I feel like they're too expensive, and now that they can't start on boxes anymore,
That's true.
I feel like that hurts them because they used to be really good at those. Like you saw Pathfinders, and you'd be nervous if you're playing like recover the supplies because they could harass your boxes, like what you're talking about, or they could take the middle box, and so you had to kind of position and plan for all that. Now they have to take a couple actions to get there, which means they're standing there and can get shot. They're not that durable. So I don't know. I feel like their knees got cut out from under them a little bit with the infiltrate change. But I don't know. I didn't play them a lot, so probably other better Pathfinder players
Yeah,
perform better than B minus with them.
yeah, no, it depends on the player. The rules changes to me did hurt them a lot. I feel it's one of those units you're playing because you have them tuned like Edward is with the deaths. Or you're playing them just because you purely love Rogue One and you look, this is the list you want to run. With the rules changes and everything in the hands of like a decent player, it's C tier for me. Because of what Daniel said, a lot of the tricks that they could pull got taken away. In the hands of a great player, good player, B plus. I think a lot of the utility and power gets boosted. Why I'm not giving him anything lower than C or B is because Jin, if you play him with Jin and Cassian, which you should be playing him with Jin and Cassian, their cards benefit these guys 1,000%. And when I mean by that is like Jin's complete the mission, they're gonna get their dauntless, they're gonna grab boxes, they're gonna run, they're gonna have the suppression for danger sense. You got Cassian's last stand, you got just a bunch of utility in those cards alone that add on to what they already present. My only thing is the other downside to them is they need a natural heavy. The one
That would be
Pathfinder
good.
unit not
Yeah.
having a heavy, because right now they feel like super troopers, like rebel troopers, just with some spice on them.
Would you
Right.
rather them have just a generic heavy or have the rest of Rogue One?
I think it'd be cool to throw in because really, I mean, max you can take is 3, so one more named character I think would work as well.
Like I feel like you just have all the named characters, like the blind guy and the guy with the big old galley.
True and Baze.
Yeah, I think those would be dope to be in Pathfinder because I don't think they should be like their own unit card.
I don't know. I kind of like them as like a counterpart unit though.
Yeah, they would if they come. It's
I think
gonna
that'd
be
be pretty cool.
But it's kind of hard right now in Rebels because there's so many heroes. You're fighting for something in command.
They don't have to be a hero though. You can make them a special forces.
What counterparting though?
I mean, they haven't done it, but you could do like Clan Ren, where they're named characters all together.
Baze would be a super Z6, and True would be like a melee staff. So you have the best of both worlds.
I actually like that, like a Clan Ren style, where it's like the Clan Ren Pathfinders. They have essentially some keyword like infiltrate.
And since True is one with the Force, he gets a Force slot.
I agree with that. I agree with that 100%.
But he can't have the OP stuff. He has he can take
reflexes. Reflexes.
Yeah, he can take reflexes.
Yeah, that'd be sick. That would be sick. I'd be down for that. And then have like a little don't call it a force power, call it like something with the force, so that way like Jedi hunters are.
I'm one with the Force.
Yeah, Jedi hunters.
Yeah, because they have that with like battle droids, right? Where there's the card. It says it on their cards like they can take whatever. Where's that?
The binoculars.
The binoculars.
So you can do that with him, where it's like he can take force reflexes. So don't even give him the slot. It's just like
you can take it. Yeah, that would be cool. I would have to say I would give it a C plus, only because I've never played them before, and
they're fun, bro.
I want to eventually. I probably when I get into Rebels, but
I'll lend you Rebels, bro. They're fun. You live life on the edge already with regular Rebel troopers. Now you got these guys that one wrong infiltrate. Now you're really on the edge.
I mean, the infiltrates would really sell me, but I'm gonna have to give them a C plus only because they're more annoying units than they are like impactful. And I feel like they could get more punished if you infiltrate in the wrong spot. And it's
Mhm.
already hard to infiltrate. Like me infiltrating Darth Maul, it's hard enough.
No,
But the
now that I
threat of
think about
infiltrate
it,
is also a value. Even if you
True.
don't do it, your opponent having to think about it, it brings a lot. Like how you always divulge cat or not cads, Darth Maul's
Whoa.
card, and I always have to think about it. Not necessarily like you don't infiltrate him like probably half the time,
Yeah, true.
but
I've
I
deployed
have to make my
pathfinders just in the
positioning. I have to
zones.
protect my army because I have to think about Maul could come from anywhere,
Yeah.
and so I think that's kind of true with these guys too. Even if you don't infiltrate them at all,
Mm.
So now that I think about it, it might be overpowered, but just based on the movie, their heavy should have been the saboteur.
a saboteur.
It would have been overpowered because of infiltrate, but they're rigging bombs in the movie. That should have been their
I think
heavy.
it'd be cool. I'd say let him take a saboteur.
Yeah, I'm with you because like
With white dice.
Yeah. Two
saboteurs are
whites.
not in the best spot right now in the meta. I don't think they've ever been in the meta, and
No,
I
no,
feel
but
like they
just
need
for
to.
their third heavy, that's what they do in the
Yeah.
movie. They're
If you could
rigging
infiltrate
bombs.
saboteurs, they'd be a lot better.
Hot take. I want you guys to disagree with me. This I think grenades, maybe not saboteurs, but I'm gonna include them in the argument. Should be free.
I think it'd be cool. Because I mean, how often are grenades? Okay, so the problem that you run into is that
Spamming them.
no, I think it's fine to spam them. I think that then all grenades have to be balanced the exact same. And there's some grenades that are better than others. So maybe make some grenades free. Like lower them all where the cheapest one
Well,
is
the
free.
smoke grenades free.
Which grenades?
It's still 2 points, isn't it?
It's cover though. It's not free, right?
No,
Is
not
it
free.
no?
It's 3 points. 3 points.
If it was free,
3
Cad Bane
points.
would have taken it.
Yeah.
I took it even when it wasn't free.
Yeah.
It's still an okay grenade for him.
I
But-
say, what's wrong with just giving them free? Like, I mean, I don't think any of them's like overpowered. I would agree that maybe
The red
you
one
take
on Black
one,
Suns is pretty good.
Yeah.
but you gotta transport to get there. You know what I mean? Like that was, I don't think.
Well,
3
the
points.
frags couldn't be free. I
Right,
think
so-
if you're, I think
Yeah.
they
Well,
can be free.
well,
You just can't
what's-
take the. You
what's-
can't make the frags free.
What's 3 points? You know what I mean? Like,
Well, it's enough
not 3
where
points.
people don't take
It's-
them sometimes. So
It's just that some units are gonna take it just so they can have those red. Like, dude, if you're gonna give my 6 snow troopers free frags, I'm taking them. I don't care if I use them. I just have them.
exactly.
if you make them free, I think you also have to make them one-time use.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. One-time use would be fine. Just like the smoke grenade, one-time use. Make it
Yeah.
free, one-time use.
And even then, I think like probably the frag, you could have like the frag be like an expensive grenade and it costs like 2. And then
Mm.
you're
everything else
getting
is
red
free
search to
or something
crit.
like that.
I also think the saboteurs should be range 1 to 2 because they're expert demolition, right? You figure they would have some more range.
Here's a
At
hotter
throwing it?
take.
Yeah.
How about ion grenades
Yes.
stacking since they have a numerical value,
Nah,
JR?
You can't.
Oh,
You
yeah,
Can you
can't.
imagine?
we can.
I'm like 5.
He wants free
That tank doesn't
red
move for the
search
next
to
3
crit.
turns.
He has free red search to crit, but he doesn't want to give. He doesn't want to stack ion.
You know why they can't stack ion?
Vehicles
Because-
already are being played,
No,
and there's.
it's not even about vehicles. It's just about CIS. It makes CIS non-playable.
You just have to make sure people don't get in range of grenades. Like that's not
Yeah,
that
shoot
hard.
him. Just put them all there and do.
If
what
we're
you
talking
do.
about the ion grenade, I'm fine with that. Ion for that could stack, but like ion in general stacking, I don't think.
No, I'm saying the
What
ion
other
grenade. It's the
situations
only
are there
one
where
that
ion
doesn't stack.
stacks?
I don't
That's the
think
only
Ion-
time you could stack it, right?
No, you could stack it on the snail tank.
There's
The-
multiple weapons that give you ion.
There's only.
Hold on.
I think it's
yeah,
just one.
Yeah, I guess you're right. There's no.
No.
So it's just the grenade where it could stack.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I say
but
let it
if-
stack. We saw
Yeah,
what
yeah.
droid poppers did in the movies.
That's true. It
Yeah.
wouldn't be that bad of an idea. At
See,
most
you know
you're-
why they're not.
At most, you're only taking 2 actions away. You won't get the
You know,
5.
Right.
Yeah.
You know why they're not? Because when Gungans come out, their bombas are gonna be ion 2.
Yeah, probably.
They're gonna have shield 1. It's gonna be great.
Ugh.
All right, Jose, run us over your Rogue One list.
So this is a list that I've been working on since I started Legion, and it's kind of just gotten spicier and spicier as the new stuff started coming out. So right now, this is 10 activations with a 15-point bid. It's Cassian Andor with Duck and Cover, Hunter, Prepared Supplies, and Config. I used to run not grappling hooks. What's the other one? Ascension cables. But now that they ruined scale, there's no point anymore. So then I got Miss Jen Urso because she's a badass. She has vigilance. I don't care what Nick says. You take vigilance on her. Duck
Nick
and
always takes
cover,
vigilance on her.
but he doesn't like it at the point cost. Like
Oh
he
yeah.
didn't.
I
Yeah,
don't
no,
like the
I'll
point
take it,
cost either. Take it back to
It's
bro.
five.
still, yeah, it's
Bro, I took
expensive
it
for
at
her.
12. I took it at 12, and everything on this list is almost fully loaded. I still got a 15-point bid. So you take it. Vigilance, duck and cover, prepared supplies, and her config. I love her config just because when you play her one pip on Rebellious, if you can flip it and get it to that two a turn early, it's money. Um, then I paid my Rebel tax, but oh no, actually let me go before that. K2SO with HQ uplink and Jin's gun. The reason I have the uplink on K2 is for when I decide to go with Cassian's sniper shot, his gunslinger one. I HQ activate K2 to give him the aim to make that initial gunslinger shot just more devastating. I like to at least have Cassian with 2 to 3 aims if possible to try to maximize at least taking 4 minis off in that turn. On that attack. I got 2 rebel troopers with the DLTA 20, the regular rebel trooper, and recon intel because I want to kind of get up into that 4. I have 2 regular naked rebel troopers. They're just the auxiliary pickup units, pick up boxes, tap VAPs. And then the rebel pathfinders, which I already had said prior, which is naked pathfinders, duck and cover, emergency transponder, prepared supplies, a config, the same loadout but with PAL, and then the final loadout being Biston, duck and cover, emergency, targeting scopes, and config. In this list, the way I play it is, you normally want your core to go do your heavy lifting and stuff, but I find when I play this list, since the Pathfinder is so versatile, when it comes, they're a lot more valuable to me in the type of deck that I build versus the regular troopers. Normally, it's your regular troopers that are going to grab objectives, they're going to do stuff, but in this case, I like the rebel troopers just kind of being an obstacle in the way of my Pathfinders. Um, so getting into the command cards, it's going to be Crackshot, Rebellious. My 2 pits are Last Stand and Trust Goes Both Ways. And then Volunteer Mission and Complete the Mission. I love K2O's Guardian card
But you didn't take it.
because Complete the Mission is too damn good and Volunteer Missions is too damn good.
See, I was super eager to see which one you dropped, and you took them both.
I took them both. My thing is if is with K2's
Isn't
with his
K2 the two pip?
It's a 3 pip.
it's a 3 pip.
Okay.
So since K2 has incognito, he's the little stealth guy you got to worry about. I'm gonna set up a standby and make you come eat it to get to him, or I'm gonna infiltrate with Cassian somewhere, and K2 is gonna be, somewhere where he can impact a VAP or impact a box. So to me, if I put myself in a place where I need to use Guardian 4, I've messed up somewhere terribly. Um, and then just the value out of complete the mission for Jin, it's came clutch in so many ways. Just being able to not be suppressed and just run. I actually in my rebel playing history with Rogue One, my most impressive victory JR was there for. I made my opponent concede round 1. So I was playing a Krennic gun line list, and I put Jin on the center box. Rip, you can't do that anymore.
Nope.
And I play first turn. I play her. What did I play? I played Cassian's crack shot, and at that time I had seize the initiative on Jin. So what ended up happening was Adam, my opponent, plays deploy the garrison. He's ready to light Jin up. So I activate seize and I grab the box. Adam shoots with both standbys. Jin takes 1 wound. She has heavy cover. She's elevated. She takes 1 wound. She then runs away. She jumps down with ascension cables, lands on the ground. I try to angle it so I could take at least as amount of shots as possible. He then moves his entire army to shoot her. She ends up living with like 2 health left. We get into the second turn. Jin is bleeding out. She has hella suppression on her. And I end up playing complete the mission. Adam plays a 3-pip, I think it was, and I end up winning the roll off. I run away with Jin, but just to make sure if she dies, it's not going to be the end of the world. She touches the box to Biston, who's just standing there in the middle. At that point, Adam goes, "Yeah, I concede." Because even if I kill her, Biston's going to activate next and run away. Because Biston had a token ready to pick it up.
Yep.
And he would then have to run his entire line into the rebel troopers while my pathfinders were already on the outside that had their boxes. So complete the mission, perfect. So we get into the deck. The blue, I like blue player for this list. I think if you don't get blue player on this in this fluffy list, you're in trouble. Recover the supplies, sabotage the moisture evaporators, keep positions, and breakthrough. All things that pathfinders can immediately have an impact on. If I have a corner, I can chill on a breakthrough and try to survive for 6 turns on an infiltrate. The less work I got to do. If what I like about recover and sab is I can put my things wherever I need to put them, and I know that my pathfinders can, if there's a line of sight blocker, range 3 for me, but my troopers can't get there. Even though I can't start in base contact, I start relatively good spot where I can grab the box and then run. Move, grab the box next to it, start running. Same thing with VAPs. Key positions, I kind of like infiltrating close to theirs, where I kind of make them second think like what they're going to do on their back. Because if you got 1 or 2 pathfinders starting in the back, normally you put like 1 or 2 strike teams, maybe 1 naked unit on the back. Now you got 2 pathfinders. It makes you rethink, and hopefully for me, it opens up the middle. And then breakthrough, like I said, you can deploy somewhere relatively safe where you can not do donuts, but you just walk into there if they don't think about it. And if they're gonna focus on those pathfinders that are pressed up to score that breakthrough, then I get to move up my guys in the middle. And then my deployment is major offensive, long march, advanced position, and battle lines. Those are all deployments I see as advantageous when you're playing the infiltrate game. Battle lines you can deploy, like if they want to deploy like in a specific area along their battle line, well, guess what, now you can infiltrate on their deployment zone on that other end. And it gets real sticky when you add Jin and Cassian, because if you're going to put all your guys on one corner of the map, hey, Cassian's going to deploy on your side of the map and he's going to have shots in that corner. Jin can do anything she wants to do. Advanced positions just helps push things along. And then for conditions, I have clear conditions, rapid reinforcements, fortified positions, and supply drop. Supply drop because I'm a madman. And I can put them where pathfinders can just drop on them, just start grabbing. Fortified positions to add to them being annoying. What's better than a pathfinder with all the keywords? A pathfinder with all the keywords and cover. And then rapid reinforcements, because I have 5 infiltrating units. Well, now I got 2 rebel troopers that are going to parachute into.
That'd be solid.
So that's my fun. Whenever I'm thinking, man, do I want to play Legion today? I want to have fun.
You
Okay,
need to
Rogue
play
One.
this. You need to play this list against Edward's Krennic list. Like, I think that would be a fun Rogue One battle right there.
Yeah, we need to set something up. I totally be down. He's been playing Death Troopers and Krennic forever, and I've been playing Rogue One forever. So it would definitely be a fun matchup.
Do you feel that this list is very terrain dependent?
No, I only don't feel it's very terrain dependent because of flexibility that half the list infiltrates. So
But that's the thing is, if there's no line of sight blockers, right, you can't really infiltrate.
yeah, but then it has the range 4 to fall back on. It's not a strong range 4 like Edward's range 4, but the advantage I have in that is that Jin with rebelliousness can set up an intercept point when something's gonna rush her. And I've been able to set up good plays with rebelliousness. I know people don't like it. I love it. I've lived on the edge of that. It's either Jin's gonna intercept with her red dice gun, or she's gonna go in there, charge, and hit you in the head with the Tofana. But the what I like about this, and I don't feel it's very very terrain dependent, is that Cassian's infinite range can whittle down a lot of the stuff that's gonna help me survive. taking a shot from a damaged unit is a lot easier on Pathfinders than eating a full shot. And it's just about if the terrain is an issue for me, I know it's an issue for them as well. And that's just more shots for Cassian to lay down. And I have wiggle room with infiltrate where maybe if they don't have infiltrate, they're going to be stuck in certain unadvantageous positions. At that point, you have to chew through the range 4 gun line with Cassian backing it up.
I have a feeling, because I have to disagree. I do think it is terrain dependent because, like, even though you are range 4, if you go, which is the meta right now, a very heavy range 4 list, like you need to infiltrate to flank that range 4 because just like I suffered when I was fighting Edward's range 4, if you're just gonna do a straight out battle, you're just gonna lose it.
I think Cassian manipulates that a lot, though.
Yeah, I mean, he's got
Because
6 units that are shooting at range 4. Because all 3 Pathfinders, he's got 2 Rebel Troopers, and then also Cassian. Yeah, like you're saying, Cassian's a big deal against the medalists, which I assume you're talking about Blizzard Force. Cassian plays into HRUs real well.
yeah, and even when it comes to Death Troopers, we already went over. What's Death Troopers' biggest problem? Range pierce,
Range pierce,
and losing bodies. If it doesn't matter if Edward's gonna Edward. I'm using Edward because he's the Death Trooper guy. If it doesn't, he's either gonna have to put him right behind line of sight blocking, which is disadvantageous to him because he's gonna have to move to take a shot, and Cassian doesn't have to go. Cassian's not going to go till after K2 goes in that scenario of feeding the aim, let's say on his crack shot. If Edward starts off where I can see even 2 Death Troopers, his cover's not going to matter because I'm going into that with 2 red dice. I'm going into it with marksman and hopefully 3 aims. So those Death Troopers are going to bleed out 1 model for sure, 2 if he has a bad dice roll. And I can live with that. So, I mean,
it's not what you do. I don't know when I'm going to do it. You know, I got things going on in my head, but eventually want to get streaming games at my house. So this list versus Edward's critic list, I think would be a good show to watch.
It would reenact Rogue One. It'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun.
We gotta get a beach mat now.
Yeah, we do. We really do.
It's fun. It's a fun list. Like I said, I've played this list so much. You know, they talk about, you know, when you go to events, play the list that you don't have to think about, lists that you know. This is a list I know in and out. The only thing that's changed is the rules in the CRB. I feel like I would need to relearn some of the new rules with this list, but it's not something that would be alien to me to where I couldn't have fun. This is turn my brain off, live life on the edge, let's see what happens. And I'm all about the human slot machine, the Legion slot machine. I'm slotting up, I'm slotting down, and let's just let the dice decide.
I love it.
While Cassian and Jin look like badasses doing it.
I love theme lists.
And if they die, that's what happens in the movie.
I wasn't trying to win anyways.
I want Edward to play Annihilation Looms on turn 6 and that decides who wins right there. That'd be so fun. Okay, guys, we'll move on to rules questions. I got a couple for you. So let's see. If a unit has a detachment keyword and also has scout, after it is placed, you know, next to its counterpart, can it then scout?
No. Because the scout move happens so if I deploy my shore, I scout up, and then the unit detachment is then placed off of him on the following wherever you want to deploy it. So no.
I think you could, because you just have to deploy in that spot, but then it's a movement after deployment, I think. I don't really know for sure, but I'm gonna say yes.
You said detachment, right? So like the mortar?
So the mortar,
yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So Daniel is right. You can. So if the mortar has scout on it, you can go wherever the shores are, speed 1 of it, and then scout.
My whole life has been a lie.
You get scout to both those guys, you can get them so far away.
Yeah, I don't think you can take scouts on the Mark II and the mortar. I don't
think they have a.
But on advanced position, you can. So
right.
That's something to keep if you get advanced position.
This game is stupid.
Does a unit with the deflect keyword gain surge to block while defending against an overrun attack?
I'm gonna say no because it's not a range attack.
Yeah, it's not a range attack.
Uh, Overrun attack are not range attacks. And it does not gain.
So the pause right here, there's once we get done with your rules thing, there's two things I found out within the last week. If you don't cover it now, I want to bring them up. I
Okay.
think they're fun.
Okay. So no, sir. Man, just the nerf for my
Overrun's
boy.
good.
Nerf for my force users, man. Just feels bad. Feels bad. All right. Okay. This one I thought was interesting. You fire support with a flamethrower that has spray. Spray now becomes a part of the pool, keyword pool. Does it apply to all of the weapons?
I'm gonna say
But
no because it
no.
already doesn't apply when it's part of a pool.
Yeah, no. I think it does. So if you
Like-
fire support with spray, yeah, you do get the spray keyword.
Just for
'Cause
that
it's that
weapon though,
unit.
not for all the weapons. Just that one guy.
Well, does it work
sprays.
like critical? You know how when you since the shores have critical 1 on their gun, heavy weapon, and then you fire support the mortar, it now becomes critical 2.
Yeah, but I think spray is defined as
Spray's-
only affecting the weapon. I don't think spray
Yeah.
affects the pool because you don't duplicate all the regular rifles that are shooting along with your flamethrower.
Well, Daniel, you be wrong in another universe because you're right.
I'm like, wow, I need to do this. I don't know how. Rolling like 80 dice. It's like all of my rifles are spraying.
All right, you got the what are they called? The guys on the big old walkers. I can't think of them right now. Bark
The
speeders.
ATRT guys.
Thank you, ATRT
Yeah.
flamethrower with the
Oh
fire
my
support. Phase
God.
ones, yeah.
Oh man.
So yeah, those are the questions. What you got for us, Jose?
So two things I found out this week, just listening to my normal Legion podcasts. I'm more motivated now to play Decas. I feel a little bit more confident. Watching Scoundrels, Kyle just said that Decas can give other Decas heavy cover because of the vehicle rules. So if
Yeah.
you conga line the Decas, like here's 2, and then here's 2, and then here's 2, you just line them up. The ones in the back have heavy cover.
Yeah.
Amazing. And they don't block you.
It's not amazing. It's another reason why the cover rules suck. That's just it.
Decas.
I don't know.
My
It makes sense.
Decas
The
play
deck
is
is in the
gonna
back
go.
should be safe.
But what-
Yeah, my
but
Decas are
the way
gonna have
he's-
heavy cover with shields.
the way they're talking about it is just like you position it in a way where it covers it a little bit, not a lot, and then that just
Well, it has to be because of vehicle rules. It has to be over 50%.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but like you don't have to like you could position them. I don't know. It's weird.
But you
yeah,
can conga line them like even in a triangle where that whole triangle, the back triangle is gonna have
Yeah.
heavy.
yeah,
It's freaking amazing.
It's
It's freaking
dumb. It's dumb.
and then if you put the leader in ball mode, just use that ball mode menu. Now he has heavy cover because from a barricade. So that I didn't even think about. That blew my mind because the way I play Decas, I spread them out. I don't normally try to keep them in a pack. That pack advantage of having heavy cover now kind of might make me want to roll the Decas as like a big ass rock. Because the back Decas will have heavy cover and then they'll have their shields. So you got to chew through. You got to throw some pretty big dice to
Yeah.
chew through that.
I think the issue is people will probably just shoot the front deckas anyways, and those guys won't have cover.
Well, so you just conga line them in a zigzag.
Yeah. So
you
yeah,
gotta-
you Congo line it to where they're complementing each other and they both have heavy cover. So the
Oh,
one,
I see what you're
the one in
saying.
the back
Like-
is
like
covered by the
zigzag,
other
like-
leader. Yeah,
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's dumb.
It's awesome. And then the one that I found out that kind of shocked me was so when you're playing hostage and you have a detachment unit, normally your detachment unit comes off of like your short trooper. Your detachment unit would then detach off of the mortar would detach off of the short trooper. No, in hostage, you can use the mortar as the hostage carrying unit, as not even detaching, just he's grabbing my hostage. Bro, that base to run away with is insane.
I don't think it's
I had no clue.
I don't think it's that insane because it's not.
It's a
That's
big
fast.
base.
It's not as fast as the speed.
Two-
Well, no, never mind. You're right.
Yeah, it's
Because they're both speed
fast.
1
Yeah,
because
they're
they
both
slow
speed
down.
1.
It's-
Yeah, I
yeah.
forgot about
It's
that.
fast. It's already it's that big base on the double speed 1.
It's
Dude,
happened to Roman at LVO. Somebody did the Mark II, and then he moved back and he took a standby.
Oh, is that?
Yeah, and
I
then when he
don't-
walked in, he moved again. So yeah.
Yeah, dude, I thought that was crazy. I'm like, yo, I've been playing this game since relatively early, and I'm still learning new things. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, it's
Phase 2's need a detachment so we can run away with our hostage on a rec scouting party.
we just the Clone Wars just need another third option with detachments. That's what we need. I want to see it.
What would the third option be? They kind
I
of just use clone troopers.
I don't know about clones, but I want to see like those swimming
The
bots.
scuba ones.
Yeah, the scuba ones with I don't know something. My theory is gonna
Aren't
be
they swimming BXs? I thought they were BXs that swim.
They look funny. They just look funny, and then they look like a fish but a robot. And then my theory is that the attachment would be a poison cannon because they're so adamant about spreading poison.
Oh, maybe.
So I don't know. We'll see. I don't know about the Clone Wars what they would do, but yeah.
I don't even want a third option. I want an upgrade kit for the phase 2s.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
B2's
Give me a
B2's need
phase-
an upgrade kit. Yeah.
Give me a phase 2 with a flamethrower,
Mhm.
so I could do that to my fire support pools.
So, well, that's all I got for you guys. You guys got anything?
That's all good.
Yeah, I
All
think
right,
that's it.
guys. Well, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys tune in next time. See ya.